with a title shot on the line for the winner. In the first semifinal, it's one-time title challenger Yoann Congallo against Russian debutant Konstantin Kuzin. In the second semifinal, French karate stylist Karim Ben Mansour faces Argentinian Muay Thai stylist Alan Scheinson. The two semifinal winners move on to face each other later tonight to determine which one gets that title shot against Cedric Doumbé, the champion. Then our co-headline bout. Spin-kicking Brazilian knockout artist Guto Inocencio looks to extend his unbeaten glory run when he faces Amsterdam's D'Angelo Marshall in a heavyweight battle. And finally, in the main event, world middleweight champion Jason Psycho Wilness defends his title against Israel, the Style Bender Adesanya. The two best middleweights in the world collide tonight. It's Glory 37 LA.
Want to welcome those of you watching around the world on ESPN. We are in downtown Los Angeles getting set for what could be a fight of the year in our main event. This is the first of 18 events that Glory will be holding around the world. It's a 2017 that we're very excited about. My name is Todd Grisham alongside welterweight champion of the world, former one, Joseph Valtellini. And when you look at the main event, two styles that couldn't be any more different.
And that's what makes this fight exciting. Both guys have the style to beat each other. You have that pressure fighting of Jason Wilness and that mobility, unorthodox style of Adesanya. Both of those styles you have to use your style to beat the other person, and that's what makes this fight very exciting.
Jason Wilness says heated up at the right time. He is the reigning and now defending middleweight champion of the world, an impressive victory at Glory 33 in New Jersey.
That was a beautiful performance win and title win against Simon Marcus, but he has to continue that pace and that vicious style, and his camp says he's only getting better, he only is getting more matured into his body, and that's why he's showing that extra power in his punches.
Wilness certainly has power in both hands. He intends to display that later tonight in our main event. Here's the way the middleweight rankings look right now. Right at the top of the heap, of course, is Jason Wilness. Dustin Jacoby, number 2. He's recovering from a broken arm suffered in his fight against Simon Marcus. We wish him well. As for Israel Adesanya, he's ranked 3rd, but gets a shot at a world title. And believe it or not, he is not worried in the least bit.
When they fight me, they miss. They hit fresh air most of the time, all the time. So it's like it just takes their confidence down, their cardio down, and then they start to just go. When I hit this mode called God mode, where I just feel like this guy can't touch me. It's like I unlock the cheat code in the game, and you just hit God mode, and it's like, yeah, I've got this guy by the bag, and I just toy with them.
Well, it was Adesanya saying that, you know what? Jason Wilness is very one-dimensional, and he has the strategy to beat him. He wants to use movement, he wants to use angles, and he wants to be very unorthodox. But that's not an easy task against Wilness, because Wilness said everyone has a plan until they get hit.
Israel Adesanya, stealing a page out of Bruce Lee's book, says tonight he will be like water. That's coming up in our main event. But we have a heavyweight attraction, and for more on that, here's Whitney Miller.
Backstage with Guto Inocencio as he prepares to take on D'Angelo Marshall in our heavyweight bout tonight. Now, Guto has a killer knockout from 2016 that everybody took notice of, so I hope we see something similar tonight. When I spoke to him just a few moments ago, he said no doubt he is looking for a knockout. Moving forward in our night on Glory 37, we start off with our contender tournament, and with more on that, let's throw it to Todd Grisham.
With Nikki Holson's shock defeat at Glory Collision in December, the welterweight division has been thrown wide open. After a 12-fight winning streak spanning more than 4 years, Holston finally tasted defeat at the hands of Cedric Doumbé of France.
New Glory welterweight champion of the world!
Doumbé now wears the champion's belt, and at Glory 37 Los Angeles, 4 fighters will compete to be his first challenger. Dangerous Frenchman Karim Ben Mansour faces Alan Scheinson. And heading up the tournament, the fastest hands in Switzerland, Yoann Congallo takes on Konstantin Kuzin. Congallo has challenged for the title before against Holston at Glory 29 Copenhagen, where his speed and aggression caused problems for the Dutchman. But now there's a new fighter at the top, and everyone needs to change their game. It's Glory 37 Los Angeles and the Welterweight Contender Tournament.
Glory Sports International, the world's premier kickboxing organization, kicks off the 2017 season right here inside the Novo at LA Live in the City of Angels with Glory 37 Los Angeles, including a 4-man welterweight contender tournament and 5 rounds for the Glory Middleweight Championship of the World. All of our bouts tonight sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. Their commissioner is John Carvelli. Their executive officer is Andy Foster. SoCal kickboxing fans, are you ready for glory? We begin with the first of 2 back-to-back tournament semifinals. This former amateur world champion, trained in Muay Thai and kickboxing, will make his debut here in LA. Please welcome Konstantin Husin.
This is Konstantin Husin's Glory debut, and talk about throwing him into the fire. Not only does he have to face Yoan Congolo, but he has to do it in a tournament format. If somehow he can beat the Swissman, he has to fight again about a half hour from now.
Yeah, and that other side of the bracket is very tough too, and he's coming in with a very still early professional career. He's only 7-2 in his pro career. He does have some good amateur experience. He's 47-16 as an amateur, but he does come from a good gym. He comes from the same gym as Artem Levin and current light heavyweight champion Artem Vakhitov.
He is 7-2 overall. Not a lot of material to look at on this guy, but from what you saw, can he beat Congolo?
Everyone has a potential in fighting, and that's what I like to say, but he's really good because Husin fights tall, he fights really long, and Congolo really likes to get on the inside, so if he's able to keep Congolo away, use a lot of good straight punches and straight attacks, he has a good chance at beating that pressure fighting and aggressive style of Congolo.
He fought for the belt at Glory 29 in Copenhagen and has the distinction of never being stopped in boxing or kickboxing. Here is Yoan Congolo.
Yoan Congolo said, "I love to fight, so 2 fights in one night are better than 1." Sort of like Ernie Banks, the famous Chicago Cub, saying, "Let's play 2."
And this is his second tournament. He was in the Glory 31 Amsterdam Contender Tournament. He was able to have an amazing, one of the best fights I've seen in a long time with Haruk Grigorian. He was able to get a split decision, and then he had to fight Myrtle Grunhart. Unfortunately, he lost a decision in that fight, so he has a good opportunity now. He's the tournament favorite, and he wants his shot at now the new champion, Cedric Doumbé.
70 professional fights on the resume of Yoan Congolo. He's won 62 of them, and 45 wins have come by way of knockout. That is a ratio of 73%. It's outrageous.
Yeah, he's a very good power puncher, and not only has he been fighting kickboxing, he's also been active in boxing, and you're going to see him boxing a lot, moving his head, and he's now, believe he's 6-0 in boxing, and since fighting Myrtle, he's been 4-0 in boxing, so we're going to probably see a big difference in his boxing and his head movement, but he's a very good cooker, he's very explosive, so let's see if you can put them both together.
In the tournament format, you want to win as soon as possible so you get a lot of rest, you don't absorb much damage, and that's what Congolo does. He knocks guys out and does it pretty quickly. Here's the tail of the tape for our opening contest here on Glory 37, Kongolo versus Husin. Kongolo, although just 2 years older, has a vast amount of experience edge over Husin, the Russian. Although Husin is much taller, but Kongolo used to that every fight he's in. He's usually the shorter guy.
Yeah, Husin really has to use that reach. He needs to keep Kongolo away from him. So good attacks are straight punches, jabs, right straights, low kicks, knees. He needs to keep his distance and keep Kongolo away from him.
Here are the Glory rules. Tournament format, semifinal, 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. Punches, kicks, knees, or legal strikes, no elbows, throws, or sweeps. 2 knockdowns in a round or 3 in the fight will result in a stoppage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this tournament semifinal is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner. After an extensive amateur career with over 60 fights, he brings with him a young professional record of 7 wins with 2 losses and will make his Glory debut tonight in Los Angeles. He stands 6 feet 2 1/2 inches, 1.89 meters, and he weighed in at 167 1/2 pounds, 75.9 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Kuzbass, Russia, here is Konstantin Husin. Here now is his opponent, standing on my left and fighting out of the white corner, a 2-time Swiss and European champion. His professional record impressive, 62 wins with just 8 losses, 45 of those wins by knockout. At 5 feet 10 inches tall, 1.78 meters, he weighed in at 169 1/2 pounds and even 77 kilos. He's here tonight in Southern California, fighting out of Switzerland. Please welcome Yohan Kongolo. And the referee in charge of the Glory ring is Dej Sriampai.
Okay, fighter. Okay, gentlemen, I want clean fight. I want fair fight. Obey my command at all times. Defend yourself all the time. Good luck to you. Touch glove back to the corner.
Kongolo not wanting to touch gloves. I don't think Husin speaks any English, so not sure he was intimidated or just had a communication issue. Either way, he has a tall mountain to climb against Yohan Kongolo. Round 1 of a scheduled 3 semifinal welterweight tournament. Kongolo in the white gloves, Husin in the black.
Husin looks very relaxed. He doesn't look overstressed. He's gonna see if he's looking to use his counter low kick off of the jab.
So Joe, you fought in tournaments before. What's the mentality when you step in for your opening fight?
Well, I think a lot of people overthink the first fight, and that's a big mistake you can make. And there's no second fight until you win the first. So both guys have to go into the tournament and be themselves. Don't overthink the second fight.
Husin said he would like for Yohan Kongolo to come right at him because he's a counterpuncher.
Yeah, he's using his kicks on the outside, mixing in front kicks and long punches. That's the strategy he needs to do. He can't be a standing target against the ropes for Kongolo to hit the body and use his good attacks and low kicks.
Yohan Kongolo currently ranked 5th in the welterweight division, but is full of confidence, feels he could easily be the welterweight king.
Well, he does have a lot of confidence because he fought Nieky Holzken and took 5 rounds with Nieky and put on a close fight. So he said after that fight, he's comfortable and confident fighting anybody.
The winner of this tournament gets a future shot at the new welterweight champion, that being Cedric Doumbé, who beat Nieky Holzken last month in December at Glory Collision in Oberhausen, Germany. This is the Glory debut for Husin.
Husin's doing a good job, and you see that he's waiting for Kongolo to try to come in and use his punches because he has a knee waiting for him.
Kongolo being a little hesitant. Still not really letting his hands go completely. A little bit tentative right now. Respecting the power of the Russian.
is those knees. It's scary. When there's a tall fighter who's good at throwing knees on the inside, it's going to make Congolo think twice on getting in there. There he goes, throwing it again.
Husin only has 1 knockout in his career, 7 victories, 1 by KO.
But Husin's one of those fighters that he's very hard to hit. He's very tall. He's good at keeping his head back. But you already hear Congolo's corner saying, hit the body. As Husin's head goes back, it opens up the body, and so it's a perfect opportunity for Congolo to add a nice straight or some liver hooks.
Husin, one of the biggest underdogs on this card tonight. No one expects him to beat Yohan Congolo, but so far, not too bad. Certainly appears to be on par with Congolo, at least thus far.
It's that long style. It's very difficult to beat a long fighter, but Congolo's doing the right thing. He's going on the inside and using combinations. You can't throw a single. You got to put 3-4 punches and add a low kick or some sort of other strike selection.
Nice combination that started in the body and worked its way up to the head for Congolo, and who knows, that may be enough to win him the round.
Well, it's that activity of Congolo that, in my opinion, won that round. He's being a little bit more active, where Husin's relying more on that one knee, that one strike. He's not really putting combinations together.
Let's look at the scoring criteria in Glory. Number 1, of course, knockdowns, cumulative damage inflicted, the number of clean scoring strikes with spectacular techniques, followed by just plain old normal techniques, Joe.
But you even seen Congolo, and one of the big things he threw, which is a lot of controversy behind his fight with Holtzkin, he landed a beautiful spinning back kick that a lot of people think should have given Nicky an 8 count, so could have made that fight a draw, and a lot of controversy behind that. So he likes to mix in those spin attacks every so often.
Husin choosing to stand up between rounds, Congolo taking a seat. You'll see different fighters with different strategies on that. Husin feeling perhaps if he sits down, the legs might get a little tired. So round 2 of a scheduled 3, the opening contest of our welterweight tournament. This is a semifinal. Yohan Congolo of Switzerland with the white gloves, the Russian Husin wearing black.
That's what Congolo's doing well at. He needs to double up his jab to get on the inside. But Husin, those knees, those counter shots, and he's really long, so Congolo thinks he's safe on the exit, but those long limbs of Husin keeps catching.
Look at the welts all over Husin's body. Might be his complexion that we see those so vividly. But on his right rib cage, his back, and his arms, already some bruising showing. And there's a spinning back kick from Yohan Congolo.
I told you, that's what he almost dropped Nicky with. And he likes to mix those in, and that's what he does have a good karate background on top of his boxing, so watch out for those. Beautiful combination. I like those low kicks against a tall fighter. It's those low kicks that are really going to slow him down, and they're adding up already.
There was a knee followed by a nice 1-2 for the Russian.
He's good when he's active, and I like to see him mix his knees behind his punches.
Like you said, Joe, no reason to save much, because if you don't win the first fight, you're not getting a second one. Husin said he started training in Muay Thai to protect himself against soccer hooligans in the street. That's one reason to get in the gym.
He just needs to be a little bit more active. I think Congolo's left hook to the body and low kick are really starting to add up.
Last minute.
And Congolo's facing some different challenges. This is his first time fighting in a Glory event here in the U.S., so maybe the time difference is starting to add up, but doesn't seem as active or as aggressive as he is in his past fights.
Well, maybe he thinks Husin's an easy out for me. Why expand all this energy or expend all this energy when I've got a tough fight perhaps coming up against Karim bin Mansour later tonight?
Well, he can't wait too long. I think Husin's still dangerous. I think it's his counter fighting that's slowing Congolo down as well. That's the combination I'm liking. He gets Husin's guard up, hits the body, finishes with the low kick.
Went for the head with that spinning heel kick, just missed. And there's a knee that opens up a combination for Husin. So 1 round to go. What are you telling the Russian if you're in his corner?
I'm telling the Russian to be a little bit more active. Huzin's waiting a little bit too long and waiting for the counter. He needs to kind of use his long weapons before Congolo comes in. Throw some attacks, let Congolo come in. He can defend, but then he can counterattack. But he needs to be a little bit more active to keep Congolo from coming in and throwing that hook in the low kick.
Here's some of Congolo's work in the second round as we take a look at our replay.
See, as you can tell, Huzin's letting him come in, but it's Congolo doing a great job at using his double jab to get on the inside, and then on the inside, he likes to attack the liver with his left hook, finish with the low kick, and that's been his best combination and best strategy in this fight.
And he's created a natural bullseye on the body of Huzin. It's bright red, a nice target for Congolo to aim at. Round 3 now, 3 minutes to go. The winner of this advances to the tournament final later tonight.
Box.
Congolo's won several European titles, has never been a Glory champion. But now that Cedric Doumbé is at the top of the heap, convinced he can beat the Frenchman if he gets the shot, and he will get that shot if he can win this tournament as he starts to tee off now on Husin.
Well, Congolo fought Doumbé at Glory 22 and beat Doumbé with a unanimous decision, so he has a lot of confidence if he wins this fighting Congolo. Sorry, fighting Doumbé.
That fight will most likely take place in March. The date and destination to be determined. You know, Doumbé's sitting at home right now, soaking this in, whether he's watching on ESPN3. Not sure where he is. Might be watching in France.
That's what Husin needs to do. Be first. Stop waiting to counterpunch. And that's when he's most successful.
He's starting to ease into this fight now as Husin, but it might be a little too late here. A minute and a half or a minute 45 to go in round 3.
But then he gets caught against the ropes, and that's his problem. He's waiting there. You got to move. You got to exit out. Don't be a standing target. He needs to throw his straight punches now while he's waiting. While Congolo's coming in, he's waiting. Throw his jab, throw his long punches. Just like that, it's going to keep Congolo away. He's waiting a little too long and it's too comfortable staying shelled up against the rope.
You can see perhaps a tattoo on the left leg of Yoan Congolo. He says it's a dragon, a symbol of power, nobility, and aggressiveness. And with this leg, I knock out my opponents.
Congolo, there he is, mixing up levels with his punches.
Oh, and a straight right floors Yoan Congolo, who says it's a slip, and the referee agrees. That would have been a game changer.
I have no clue what happened there. That looked like it was a knockdown.
Punch connected for sure. We'll have to see in a replay after this round, but certainly some confidence building for Husin.
Well, regardless if that was a knockdown or not, Husin needs to pick up the activity. Treat it like a knockdown. Put that energy output in there to try to finish this. Good counter right knee.
It wasn't a big damaging shot if it did land because Congolo jumped right back up, but it doesn't have to be a damaging shot.
No, a right placement doesn't take too much.
And now Congolo's starting upstairs, going back to the liver, splits the guard, now teeing off more. Husin takes a big breath and eats a flying knee. That's a long way to jump for Congolo. So our first semifinal is done. Was that a slip or was it a knockdown? That is the question. Perhaps it could have changed the result of this fight. Joe, what do you see here?
It was really tough from my angle, but to me that's a knockdown. To me that's a knockdown.
It looked like just a straight jab. Boom.
That's a knockdown in my opinion.
That is.
But good job at Congolo at playing it off as a slip.
So it's ruled a slip. Perhaps should have been a knockdown. Would that have changed the result? Or perhaps Husin pulled this off and we're all wrong? The official decision coming up next. Here are the highlights from our first semifinal. Yoan Kongolo and Konstantin Huzin, Joe.
And it was that pressure fighting of Kongolo that did a really good job. And it was Huzin trying to use his counter knees on the inside, trying to slow down the output of Kongolo. But Kongolo showed good pressure fighting all the way through all 3 rounds, using his jabs and punches to get inside and ultimately attacking that left hook to deliver, low kicks, and it was just too much pressure for Huzin to handle, which gave Kongolo, in my opinion, his ticket to the finals.
Here are our strike stats. Landed 89 total for Yoan Kongolo compared to just 47 for the Russian. Strikes absorbed to the body. That was the target for Kongolo. The liver area, he never let up. 43 strikes to that area. For the official decision now, we send it into the ring. Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. All 3 judges scored about the same, 30-27. A unanimous decision for your winner, now advancing to the tournament final, Yoan Kongolo.
Not much drama in that scorecard read. Yoan Kongolo, a unanimous decision winner. It is winter. Doesn't feel like it here in Southern California. Been raining all day.
But it was Kongolo with that pressure fighting, and that's what really was the difference. And that's why Kongolo is so successful. And against that tall Huzin, he did a great job, and he still looks fresh. He still looks athletic. And now we get to see what the other semifinals between Ben Mansour and Sheinson. Lots of action coming up.
It is France's Karim Ben Mansour who feels tonight will be his night to earn a title shot. To do it, he's got to win his first semifinal against South America's best, Argentina's Alan Sheinson.
"6'9" giant Maurice Green. And welterweight madness between the Predator, Myrtle Gruenhart, and Thai Terminator, Tong Chai. Glory Super Fight Series Chicago. Watch it live Friday, February 24th. Don't miss it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we next turn to the other half of the tournament bracket. He has fought all over South America and Thailand and brings his 50-fight career now to the Glory World stage. Here comes Alan Sheinson.
Alan Sheinson, a South American champion, making his Glory debut. And to get ready for this, he left Argentina, went to Netherlands, and is training under Nick Hemmer at Hemmer's Gym.
Yeah, and he looks very impressive. And when first hearing Sheinson was added to the welterweight tournament, I was very impressed with his knockout ratio and the power that he has. And he has, of his 48 wins, 37 by knockout, which is a 77% knockout ratio. So you know he's got a lot of power. His favorite technique is looking for that body shot, and his best weapon, he says, are his low kicks.
This obviously, since it's his debut, is his first tournament in Glory, but he's fought in another tournament down in Argentina. Said he won both fights, and he did it with 2 first-round knockouts.
Yeah, he has a lot of power, and he does have a lot of focus on strength and conditioning in his training regimen, which I totally agree with. In my career, I used a lot of strength and conditioning to help with my power, and he uses that same philosophy. And you can see with his nice, strong physique and his impressive knockout ratio.
He is coming off a win over Ivan Dannenberg in front of a hometown crowd in Nice, France at Glory 35. Here is Karim Ben Mansour.
Speaking of French crappy manners sort of stuff. I said, no thanks. I'll come and pick you up with the jet.
Karim Ben Mansour all smiles, and he wants an all-French title fight. If somehow Ben Mansour can win this tournament, he'll get Cedric Doumbé. Said his dream would be to have that fight in Paris, France. And sometimes Glory's been known to make dreams come true, Joe.
And France has been producing a lot of great kickboxers lately, and we got to see Fabio Pinca come along and win the Contenders Tournament. So France is producing now Cedric Doumbé, Karim Ben Mansour. There's a lot of talent coming out of France, and hopefully we get to go back to France very soon.
One loss on Ben Mansour's resume from Glory. It came at Glory 31 in Amsterdam when Myrtle Gruenhart stopped the Frenchman, but he bounced back nicely, as you mentioned, against Ivan Dannenberg, a home fight for him in Nice.
That was a close fight, and that was a split decision that could have gone either way, but here you have it. Ben Mansour got the win and solidified his position in the welterweight contenders tournament.
Now for our tail of the tape and our second semifinal of this welterweight tournament. It will come, I promise you. There it is. Ben Mansour, 6 years older, but height, weight, and reach all go to the Argentinian.
And the biggest difference between these two is that power ratio, both with similar professional experience, but it's that KO ratio, and that I'm really excited to see if Shinesing could really come in here and use that power against a veteran and now a 1-1 in Glory record of Ben Mansour.
Ladies and gentlemen, this tournament semifinal scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And introducing first, standing on my right and fighting out of the black corner, this Argentina national champion won the belt in 3 separate weight divisions. His professional record, 48 wins with 3 losses, 37 of those wins by knockout. He'll make his Glory debut at the Novo tonight. Standing 5 feet 11 and 1/2 inches, 1.81 meters. He weighed in at fight time at an even 169 pounds, 76.8 kilos. Here tonight out of Buenos Aires, Argentina, here is Alan Superboy Shineson. His opponent fighting out of the white corner, a 4-time WKN European champion. His professional record, 47 wins, 6 losses, 2 bouts scored even with 22 big knockouts. At 5 feet 11 inches tall, 1.80 meters. He weighed in at 166 1/2 pounds, 75.5 kilos. Fighting tonight out of France, it is Karim Le Félon Ben Mansour. And the third man inside the Glory ropes, your referee is Michael Bell.
Alan, Karim. All right, gentlemen, you got instructions backstage. Defend yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. You want to touch gloves, touch it now. Back to your quarters.
A huge opportunity for both these fighters. You dream to be a champion. You win this tournament, you're about as close as you can get. Karim Ben Mansour wearing all white. Alan Shineson, all black. Good guy versus bad guy, just like the old Westerns. And Ben Mansour right at it. Touched gloves and started throwing.
Ben Mansour is an active fighter. He likes to really come forward, put a lot of combinations together, and he doesn't stop. But the difference is, can Shineson use his power to slow that activity down?
All right, fight, watch your door.
Shineson said he doesn't like Ben Mansour's style. There's not much technique.
Stop. You okay, brother? Fight.
Do you think Shineson is at a higher level technique-wise than the Frenchman?
Well, it's very close, and they're very different styles, and it's that constant forward pressure and activity of Ben Mansour, but Shineson's really focusing on that low kick.
Shineson looking to turn the tables and be the pressure fighter himself. Shineson doing pretty well, letting his hands go early in this fight. The winner gets Yoan Congolo later tonight. Low kick, outside low kick from Shineson.
Well, he says they're his best weapon, and I'm a low kicker, so I want to see if he can really utilize that low kick to slow Ben Mansour down.
Stop.
Nick Himmers, the trainer for Alan Shineson, told us that quite simply Alan is better than Ben Mansour and that his style is extremely difficult for Ben Mansour to handle.
Well, Ben Mansour is going to throw 2-3 punches where Shineson may throw one, but that one's going to do damage.
And I was impressed at how cool and collected Shineson was in our fighter interviews. Even though this is his Glory debut, seemed right at home in there. Very relaxed, jovial, ready to rock and roll tonight.
Well, he does have a lot of experience. He has 48 wins with only 3 losses. But Ben Mansour is trying to tack on angles.
Nice body shot from Ben Mansour.
The way Ben Mansour is turning himself and getting away from the rope is very well done.
Kickboxing has a huge following in France.
Let it go. Let it go.
You know they would certainly welcome a fight between Doumbé and Ben Mansour. Nick Hemmers yelling to his fighter, Shineson, to be the first.
Yeah, he's waiting a little too long sometimes. He's waiting to counter and use his low kicks. I'd like to see him use his straight punches and try to keep Ben Mansour away a little bit.
Another jab to the body there for Ben Mansour.
We'll get right out of it. Let's go. Stop! Fight.
Close round here, this opening round one. A couple power shots connecting for the Argentine.
It's a very close round, and is it the activity of Ben Mansour or the power shots and low kicks of Shineson?
Let's take a look back at the sweep from round one.
It's Shineson using those good low kicks, and that's a legal strike. It wasn't a sweep, it was an actual kick. And remember, in the Glory rules, you can't sweep. That was a full kick that kind of swept the legs of Ben Mansour out of.
It's like getting hit with a baseball bat in the back of the knee.
Yeah, he said his low kicks are his best weapon. And I have a feeling those low kicks are going to start adding up on Ben Mansour. But Ben Mansour in all of his fights is very durable, very tough, and constantly pushes the pace.
Ben Mansour, very excited to be fighting here in the United States of America, told us he'd move here if he could, but his mom simply won't let him. She said, "You're not leaving France."
Let's go, gentlemen. Let's go. Out, out, out.
How'd you score that first round, Joe?
Ooh, that's very tough, but I'm going to give the advantage for Shineson based on his landing more power shots and maybe doing more damage with those low kicks.
He outstruck Ben Mansour by 7 in round one, 34-27.
But I agree with Nick Hemmers in the corner of being a little bit more active. Don't wait too long.
What a debut this would be for Alan Shineson if he was able to win a contender tournament and just move right in and get a title shot against Cedric Doumbé. That's what Matt Embry did. Won a featherweight tournament and got to fight Ruben van Roosmalen. Unfortunately, he was stopped in the 4th round of that title contest.
Well, same thing as our main event tonight. Adesanya came in and won a contenders tournament and now is facing Jason Wilness for the middleweight title.
Work, guys. Work, gentlemen.
It's your chance to achieve glory in glory. That's why the tournament format is so exciting. Nice right hand from Shineson, holding the foot, catching the kick, delivering a shot.
This is where Shineson really wants to keep Ben Mansour. Keep him against the ropes. Gives him a good opportunity to use that left hook and those low kicks. But Ben Mansour keeps hitting that body. Those body shots will add up and take the energy out of you.
That right hand snuck over the guard of Shineson.
But you can see how Ben Mansour keeps coming forward. It doesn't stop being active.
Oh, a nice head kick from Ben Mansour.
Work your way out of it. Let's go. Stop! Stop! Don't push. Fight!
When you're facing a pressure fighter, how big of a task is it for you to become the pressure fighter? That's what Shineson's trying to do here.
Well, yeah, Ben Mansour is using a little bit better angles and movement. But again, this ring is smaller today, so it's causing more action against the ropes, which I actually prefer.
2 feet smaller here. We're on a stage. the Novo Theater in downtown Los Angeles. A unique environment for sure. But it's been pretty cool, actually. I like the setup.
Yeah, you can see all the balcony in front of us and everyone watching down at us.
You like to be watched, do you not, Joe?
I do.
30 seconds left in round 2. A couple of shots landing for Scheinson. Both guys expending a lot of energy. Remember, one of these two is going to have to fight in about 20 minutes again.
Yeah, Congolo stayed pretty relaxed, and this already seems like more of a
ooh, and a nice sneaky
fight.
left hand as Scheinson, or as Ben Mansour backed away. A close round 2 there.
Yeah, it was Ben Mansour again is being active, but still not enough. Scheinson's pressure fighting has been on point. He's able to land more of the power shots and the cleaner strikes, and he seems to be controlling the pace with his power. So Ben Mansour needs to keep up with that activity and try to maybe stand his ground a little bit more, because I think Scheinson's taken away from this fight.
Back in Argentina, Scheinson is a private pilot and also runs a real estate company with his mother.
It's a very good strategy. A lot of fighters need to plan things for after this sport, so he's doing a good job at planning his future.
That is the beautiful Alyssa letting us know that this is the 3rd and final round. And Joe, how do you have it through 2?
Well, I'm still going to go 2 rounds to 0 for Scheinson. I think his power shots are doing more damage. And that pressure fighting, judges are looking at the aggressiveness of Scheinson. He's constantly pressuring, keeping Ben Mansour against the ropes.
Scheinson blocked that head kick attempt from Ben Mansour. And it's Scheinson again who's trying to put on the pressure now.
Landed a good right hand, but what I'm liking with Ben Mansour is the way he circles out with his left hooks. But he can't stay here.
Oh, and a right hand connects from the Frenchman, and a couple more punches after that.
Yeah, he found that right hand.
The best moment of the fight so far for Ben Mansour. And Joe, I know you have it 2 rounds to none, but it could just as easily be 2 rounds to none the other way, depending on what the judges are seeing.
Yeah, I'm scoring this based on power shots and damage based on the low kick, but this activity of Ben Mansour in this 3rd round could easily push the fight his way.
Body shot with the left hook from Ben Mansour. Minute 48 to go. The winner gets Johan Congolo.
Ben Mansour's taking away with this fight in the 3rd. Let's see if he has enough energy to finish this last minute and 30 seconds with this volume.
Go down and work your way.
You win the 3rd, you might win the fight. It's been that close.
Ben Mansour is attacking the back leg of Scheinson, and that back leg is a good shot because fighters aren't used to taking shots on that back leg. Scheinson probably has a more durable front leg, so Ben Mansour attacking the leg that's not used to getting hit.
Separate. Fight.
Scheinson has outstruck Ben Mansour 90-77. But a lot of strikes have been landed for both of these combatants. And that will pay a price, or that will be a toll that has to be paid to the winner of this, who has to fight again in 20 minutes.
And Mansour slipped his head off through that right uppercut. Good job, and he found that right hand again. He's throwing it more overhand, which is going right over the left guard of Scheinson.
The best round so far for Ben Mansour, who lands a spinning back fist. Aims for those thighs with his kicks.
I'm liking that rear low kick. I love the way Ben Mansour is attacking that back leg. And
You got 3 hands.
he went low and then he mixed it up with a nice left high kick.
Fight.
A very solid round 3 for the Frenchman. Will it be enough? Did the judges give him rounds 1 or 2 or both? And a right hand, a parting shot from Ben Mansour, who closes in style. the judges have a tough task in front of them to determine who won this second semifinal.
And it's not an easy one. Even looking at the stats from Fight Metrics, it's Scheinson who's more active and landed more of the power shots. But it was that third round of Ben Mansour that really made the difference, that could have swayed the judges to go for him.
The official decision for our second semifinal when we return.
And this is going to be a tough one for the judges because Ben Mansour seemed to be a lot active and movement, but Scheinson did such a good job at showing his power, and especially in his low kick. And he landed some good punches in the first few rounds and good low kicks, but as the fight progressed, Ben Mansour seemed to pick up his activity and push the pace a little bit, but Scheinson's power was really tough for Ben Mansour to get things going. But in the third round, when Scheinson started to slow down, his output slowed down, his power slowed down, that's when Ben Mansour started putting combinations together, mixing in some awesome spinning back fist attacks. But beautiful job at Ben Mansour at finishing strong, and who knows, may have sold himself the win.
The only definitive round appeared to be the third, which went to Karim Ben Mansour. But when you look at the strike statistics, almost all of them angled towards the Argentinian.
It's still close to call, though, because it was Ben Mansour throwing 2, 3, 4 shots. It's tough to call. It's going to be a tough one for the judges, but it seemed like it was the low kicks of Scheinson that did the most damage on Ben Mansour.
No one can complain either way, but which way will it go? Let's find out. Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of tournament action, we go to the judges' scorecard. They return a split decision. Scoring this bout, 29-28, Scheinson. 29-28, Ben Mansour. And 30-27, a split decision for your winner. Now moving on to the tournament final, Karim Ben Mansour.
Not sure about the 30-27 card, but other than that, there's not much you can really complain about if you're Alan Scheinson.
It was tough, but it was Ben Mansour being active. He didn't stop throwing. He put combinations together where it kind of looked like Scheinson was throwing and relying more on single power shots.
So here's the updated tournament bracket. It'll be Congolo and Ben Mansour. The 2 favorites to make it to the final have done just that. And that fight will take place later tonight. And Ben Mansour certainly needs to get as much rest as he can. Still to come, it's Congolo versus Karim Ben Mansour. And of course, our main event, the middleweight championship, is on the line. Jason Psycho Wilness and the last style bender, Israel Adesanya. It's a can't miss fight. But up next, he holds the 2016 Knockout of the Year, a brutal spinning heel kick. But will his unique offense be able to hold off D'Angelo Marshall, who vows a spectacular finish of his own in his Glory debut tonight? We go to the heavyweight division when Glory 37 returns.
Comes to Los Angeles, winner of 9 of his last 10 bouts. Here comes D'Angelo Marshall.
Kijk je gezicht. Je lijkt op die All Blackberry. Il est sur the beat. Crois ne finit, c'est là on commence petit. Quand tu crois t'es malade, on te met au dos. Il est sur the beat. On l'appelle grand joueur. Baby.
They call him the pretty boy. 26 years old. He's got model looks, Joe, but he's also got a huge power punch. He's 14-1. 8 of his wins have come by way of knockout.
And he comes with that Dutch-style kickboxing that we always say, where he likes to use his boxing and his low kicks, but he does favor his boxing, and he's got good power behind his punches. But he says what makes him extra dangerous is he's very well-rounded.
Is he ready for this stage? Is he ready for glory?
Guto Inocente is a tough debut to have, and Guto's on a 3-0 win streak in Glory. And his last fight was against one of the top legends of kickboxing, Hesdy Gerges. So Guto's coming in with good momentum. So is D'Angelo Marshall, winning 9 of his last 10. So it's an interesting matchup.
57% knockout ratio. Would love to get another one here tonight.
Most recognized for his spectacular spinning heel kick knockout at Glory 27 Chicago. He'll put his perfect Glory record on the line in LA. Here is Guto Inocente.
One of the criteria for our judges to look at is spectacular offense, and no one's offense is quite as spectacular as Guto Inocente.
Oh, that was his Glory debut, where he had a beautiful spinning kick knockout, which was the knockout of the year. It was watched by millions all over the world, and he has shown good improvement as well. He just doesn't rely on those spin attacks, and he came in, and after beating Demario Dennis at Glory 27, he had an impressive win against Brian Duez, and then again that impressive win which really motivated and pushed him to continue to do better after he had an impressive win over Gerges. But let me tell you, this guy is a heavyweight that moves like a lightweight.
And he is as tough as they come, has torn the ACL in both his left and right knees, had reconstructive surgery on both knees. He's broken his right hand, broken his left wrist, and yet he's here to fight and says he feels pretty darn good. Here's our tale of the tape for these big boys. Guto Inocente, 6'3". D'Angelo Marshall, 6'5". Guto Inocente, 264 pounds, but you just saw him do a cartwheel.
And D'Angelo Marshall is going to have to use that reach and try to pressure Guto to stop that movement. And that's what makes Guto so dangerous, is he can adapt really well, use his movement. And it shows that because he does have the fight experience and does have that 3-0 Glory record. But D'Angelo Marshall really wants to show his value in the Glory ring using his boxing and his low kicks.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the Glory heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner. This 2-time tournament winner comes in on a 5-fight win streak. His professional record, 14 wins with just 1 loss. 8 of those wins by knockout. He'll make his Glory debut in LA tonight. He stands 6 feet 5 inches tall, 1.95 meters, and he weighed in at 241.5 pounds, 109.7 kilos. Fighting tonight out of the Netherlands by way of Curacao, here is D'Angelo Marshall. His opponent fighting out of the white corner, a 5-time Brazilian champion, also a South American and Pan Am champion. His record, 32 wins with 7 losses, 17 of those wins by knockout. His Glory career perfect, 3 wins and no losses. At 6 feet 3 inches tall, 1.91 meters, he weighed in at fight time at an even 264 pounds, 119.8 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Brasilia, Brazil, introducing Guto Inocente. And your referee for this contest is Blake Grice.
Come here, guys. You both know the rules. I do expect a clean fight. Obey my commands. Protect yourself at all times. Touch him up, back up. Good luck.
Guto Inocente made it clear to us he doesn't feel that D'Angelo Marshall is on his level, wants to dispose of him as quickly as possible tonight. How does the pretty boy win this fight, Joe?
He needs to stop that movement of Guto, because Guto's going to hit on angles and be very unorthodox with his footwork. You can see him circling and moving. He'll switch stances, but that's what D'Angelo Marshall needs to do. Keep the pressure on Guto. Get him against the ropes. Use his boxing. But that's hard because Guto's so well at his movement.
Left hand connected there for Marshall. And Guto's scattering and ducking for cover here.
Good pressure fighting by Marshall.
Clean break.
Fight.
But Inocenc can catch you with a crazy kick at any moment. Marshall has to be very careful.
There's that small ring having the advantage for Marshall. It's going to be harder for Guto to create space. So Guto may have to rely on staying in the pocket and throwing some combinations.
There's a head kick thrown by Marshall.
Nice hook cross by Marshall.
So far, Guto's been backpedaling nonstop as Marshall's been laying on the pressure.
Guto needs to be careful kicking on the outside because Marshall keeps pressure. He's going to open up his head as he punches, and Marshall needs to keep up with those straight punches. He keeps tagging Guto with that jab.
Guto Inocenc shot at the age of 17 in the chest. That was his wake-up call. Said it changed his life. He headed right to a local gym and never left.
And he trains with his father, Carlos Inocenc, and they have a very close relationship.
Talk about a tough matchup for D'Angelo Marshall in his first Glory fight. How do you combat the kind of offense that Inocenc is going to throw your way?
It's tough, and it's keeping pressure. That's why Guto's having a hard time, getting some good output going because Marshall keeps him against the ropes.
Marshall would love for this to turn into a boxing match. Does not want any part of Guto's kicks.
When you hear Marshall's corner asking for the low kick, it's actually William Van Roosmalen in the corner of Marshall yelling for Marshall to throw low kicks.
Marshall tried a flying knee.
Guto doing a good job at slipping off and getting under it. See, Guto's very intimidated to kick because Marshall keeps throwing straight punches.
A fantastic first ever round in Glory for D'Angelo Marshall. The pretty boy looks pretty good.
He definitely looked very impressive with that pressure fighting, shutting down Guto.
Here's our fighter profiles. We'll start with Guto Inocenc out of Brazil.
Yeah, Guto is one of those guys who's a full-time martial artist. He started striking from such a young age, and he even has MMA experience. He has 2 fights in the UFC. He has 1 fight in Strikeforce, so he's a lifelong martial artist with his father, Carlos Inocenc. So look for him to continue to try to use those spin attacks and all of his different weapons to try to slow down this man, the pressure fighter, D'Angelo Marshall, who's going to try to use his boxing like he's doing. He's doing a good job at using straight punches to shut Guto's output down. And he also trains from a good camp in Netherlands from one of the same gyms that Murad Bouzidi trains at.
Round 1 goes to who?
D'Angelo Marshall, 10-9.
Can Marshall keep up this pace, this pressure? And Guto, perhaps sensing that he needs to change something here, comes out swinging and catches him with a left hand.
And it looks like Guto's going to try to use angles. Once he angles off, that's when he's going to start throwing his combinations. He's going to have to use his head, some head movement to move past those straight punches.
Nice body kick, connects.
Guto did a good job landing that, but it's Marshall using a straight punch to shut down Guto's kicks.
Okay. Ready?
Time in. Fight.
It looks like Guto's putting more punches on the inside instead of trying to exit. He's trying to attack the body, move out on angles.
How do you like Marshall's ring generalship right now?
It's really good. His pressure fighting is very impressive. He keeps stalking Guto against the ropes, shutting down his movement, landing some good strikes.
Ooh, and that connected. Wasn't enough for a knockdown. The referee says no.
But it looked like it did a lot of damage.
It sounded good, that's for sure.
He had a 360 spin kick to the inside leg.
Fight out of it, guys.
Imagine that coming your way with 264 pounds behind it. You just don't see that. Oh, and a right hand connects, and down goes Marshall.
Beautifully timed right hand by Guto.
6, 7, 8. Walk to me. You want to fight? Yes.
He says he wants to fight, and here's where Guto will go for the kill.
He's already looking for spinning attacks.
And now Marshall's going to go down on his shield. You know that. He wants this kind of fight.
Yeah, he just landed some good punches, though, but he needs to be careful. Let himself recover.
Fight!
And now it's Guto stepping forward, landing some punches too.
But Marshall threw a nice right hand. This is the fight Guto wants. Stay active here.
And Marshall looks really wobbly. Oh, he caught him with an uppercut. And then a head kick. Marshall's in big time trouble.
Good job at Guto mixing up his strikes.
Marshall needs to get off those ropes, and he does. Oh, and straight right hand. Guto says that didn't hurt.
Guto needs to stay composed. He needs to relax a little bit. Set up his strikes. Don't get too carried away.
It looked like the referee was considering stopping the fight for a second, but has allowed Marshall to continue.
We've seen Guto really use those powerful kicks and spin attacks, but we never really got to see his power in his hands.
So Inosinc with a 10-8 round 2. So if you gave the first round to Marshall and a 10-8 to Inosinc in round 2, the Brazilian up by a point heading into the third.
There was a beautiful round by Guto, and he was having a hard time really trying to get in and land his strikes and fight his movement on the outside, but it's when he found that beautifully overhand right that just put Marshall to the canvas. Set up with a jab, beautiful overhand, and that's the shot that you have to throw against a taller fighter. You gotta start looping your punches over, perfectly timed. Guto really needed that shot because he was having a hard time with the pressure fighting of Marshall. So that was a good shot to give him some good confidence going into the third round.
And here's where Marshall was in trouble in the corner.
Guto was mixing up punches, attacking the body, and
then the head kick comes right there.
Just blocked off of Marshall's guard.
This should be a very interesting round 3. It's a round that Marshall has to win. How much does he have left in the tank? He lands that punch straight away.
Marshall's doing really good landing the jab. I'd like to see him double it up and maybe stay a little longer with the jab, but he can pressure fight mixing up the straight punches a little bit more.
D'Angelo Marshall fighting out of the Netherlands by way of Curaçao, the home of his parents. Never lived there, lived in Holland. He's training at Lucid Gym in Amsterdam. Look at the head punches. Marshall's throwing a bunch, and a spinning rear kick there from Guto, followed up by a left hand.
Yeah, both of them tried throwing jump attacks at the same time.
Stop! Break! Clean break! Fight!
Oh, and that right hand from Marshall connected and sent some saliva spewing out of the mouth of the Brazilian.
Break!
Let's see if Guto can put some energy together and let some combinations fly with his hands, because that's how he got really successful in that second round. He got on the inside, attacked the body, then mixed in the overhand and uppercuts.
Marshall beginning to swing more wildly now.
Guto slowing down with his kick output, really looking and focusing on his boxing.
You know, outside of Rico Verhoeven, the heavyweight division pretty wide open. A win here tonight for Guto Inosinc, and he says, I want a top 5 guy after this.
And he deserves it. A win here would make him 4-0 in glory, and he deserves a good shot. And it was after his first fight he was calling Rico out.
Maybe we can get Inosinc in a contender tournament, get him a future crack. That's how we do it here in glory. You want to make your way to the top, you got to earn it.
But he needs to win this fight first, and he needs to put a little bit more activity in. If Marshall wins this round, you have to go to a 4th round.
Nice left uppercut from Marshall. There's another jab that you like so much, Joe.
He needs to keep using it.
Break.
He always constantly throwing a jab cross. If he would double up his jab and set up his right hand, it'd be a little bit more effective.
Unlike boxing, if this is a draw after 3 rounds, we'll go to a 4th round. So if you gave round 2 to Inosinc, 10-8, but Marshall wins rounds 1 and 3, 10-9, that's a draw, at least according to my math.
But that reach hasn't really been affecting Guto too much. He's doing a good job at getting in on the inside, but I want to see him keep hitting that body.
That right hand, a straight right, connects for Marshall. Did he do enough in rounds 1 and 3? So that's it.
Almost happened, didn't it?
We go to the judges' scorecards. Obviously, the knockdown, the key moment in this fight in round 2. The official decision headed your way next. Will it be Inosinc? Will it be Marshall? Or will it be an extra round? With the knockdown in round 2, that's a 10-8 round. But if Marshall won the 1st and 3rd round, it will be a draw. Let's send it into Tim Hughes. Do we have more from this fight?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. Let's look at the totals. Judge Denkin scores the bout 29-27, Inosinc. Judge Kobian and Judge Crail score the bout 28-28. It is a majority draw. But according to Glory rules, we'll go 1 more round.
You gotta love it, Joe.
Oh, I'm hyped now. I love extra round. I think that's what makes kickboxing so exciting, is that opportunity for that extra round.
And Guto Inosenc's corner was a little bit stunned. Like you said, they put his T-shirt on. They had to scramble to get it off. Inosinc had a look of bewilderment in his face. Marshall was celebrating. His corner wanted the extra round, and now they get it.
His corner slapping him in his face, trying to hype him up, as it all comes down 3 minutes.
Marshall told us yesterday, my skills might not be what Guto Inosenc's are, but his heart and will aren't as good as mine, and that's what this 4th round could come down to.
And let's see, it's been Marshall using that pressure fighting and giving Guto a hard time. Guto needs to be active with his boxing. I think that's his key to success.
So essentially, it's a 3-minute fight now. And yes, if this round somehow is a draw, we'd go to a 5th round. Sudden victory, we call it.
Stop, break. Fight.
There's the total strikes. Marshall with 83 landed compared to 74 for Inosinc. Very close. Who do you give the edge to in round 3 here?
Well, this is the sudden round. This is round 4, but so far it's tough because Marshall, it's the same thing that's happened in the first 3 fights. It's Marshall pressure fighting and Guto trying to get on the inside, but it's pretty even right now.
Still time for Inosinc to score one of those highlight reel knockdowns. He got a pretty good one in the 2nd round. It was a straight punch right to the jaw of Marshall.
He hasn't really thrown that overhand right shot that scored him that knockdown in the 2nd round. He needs to go back to it.
Nice body shot from Inosinc.
Good combination. I like when he keeps hitting Marshall's body.
Belt line shot from Inosinc.
Yeah, then he followed a beautiful left uppercut. Left hook, left uppercut. One of my favorites.
Those are the type of moments that the judges remember. A nice scoring sequence. That kick hit nothing but air. That takes a lot of energy to throw those jumping kicks.
He's trying to take advantage of those clean scoring strikes with spectacular techniques, and that's what he's known for.
So a minute to go in this sudden victory round 4 in the heavyweight division. A good looking right hand from Marshall.
And that's what he needed. It seemed to be going Guto's way, but that right hand could change things.
Stop! Stop! Fight!
30 seconds to go. This fight still certainly hangs in the balance.
I love that outside left hook to the body. Marshall needs to get back to those straight punches.
Stop!
This is a very close round. I think both fighters will think they won it.
Listen for the bell. Fight! Stop! Stop! Time.
So there you have it. Who won? We all want to know. And we'll all find out when Glory 37 returns. Highlights from this very close heavyweight encounter between Guto Inocenc and D'Angelo Marshall. It took an extra round, Joe.
And they had very different styles, and it was the pressure fighting of D'Angelo Marshall, but it was round 2 which made this fight very interesting, where Guto was able to knock Marshall down with that overhand right and continue to put good pressure on. But in that 3rd round, Marshall was able to recover from that knockdown, come back and continue his pressure fighting ways, which ultimately made this fight go to an extra round. And again, just like the other 3, it was a very close round. Both exchanged punches. Guto did a good job at landing a little bit more of those spectacular strikes, but who knows? It was also Marshall landing some good punches. Can go either way.
Here are our strike statistics. It was close. As you can see, 196 thrown for Marshall. He landed 102 compared to 107 landed by Inocenc. Strikes absorbed. Both men will be feeling this tomorrow. Inocenc, 88 headshots absorbed compared to 53 for the Dutchman. For the particulars on who won this fight, let's send it to Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after an extra round, all 3 of our judges see about the same and score it 10-9 for your winner, Guto Inocenc.
There you have it, our winner, Guto Inocenc, who is coming back from 2 close wins. He had a close one against Gerges and now another close one against Marshall, but he's working his way up the rankings and very soon trying to get his spot against Rico.
It certainly wasn't his best performance, but it was yet another winning performance. He is unbeaten in Glory. Still to come, our main event. It's a battle of styles. The champion, Jason Wilness, and his no-nonsense, moving forward Dutch style versus Israel Adesanya, who blends several martial arts into his flashy, spectacular offense. It's our middleweight championship still to come. But first, the welterweight tournament final. Karim bin Mansour, who's already fought and won tonight, faces Joanne Congolo, who's done the same thing. It's the final of our welterweight contender tournament. The winner gets a shot at the champion, Cedric Doumbé.
Time now, ladies and gentlemen, for our tournament final of the evening. He survived a back-and-forth 3-round battle in his semifinal and came away with a split decision win. Welcome back, Karim bin Mansour.
French comp here, sort of crappy, random sort of stuff. I said no thanks. I'll come and pick you up with the jet.
So he makes that walk for the 2nd time tonight. And certainly, it appeared from our vantage point, bin Mansour expended a lot of energy and absorbed a lot of damage in that victory.
Yeah, and he took a lot of low kicks, and that's, takes the power out of your punches. And bin Mansour likes to use movement, angles, and fighting on the outside, but Scheinson did a good job at using his low kick. Let's see if bin Mansour is able to keep that constant pressure and output that he's used to.
And this is a rematch, mind you. Bin Mansour has beaten Joanne Congolo. It was a long time ago. Congolo said, I was very young then. This time it will be different.
Constant pressure forced his semifinal opponent to fight against the ropes on his way to a unanimous decision. Here again, Yoan Kangalo.
That first fight took place November 2013. Bin Mansour winning a decision. Kangalo said this time it'll be different. He won't allow Bin Mansour to run as much as he did. He said, I'm here to fight. I'll make him fight. That's what people want. And there's no way that Bin Mansour should be ranked higher than I am right now.
Yeah, Kangalo is the favorite. If you look at his Glory record and who he has fought in Glory, he is definitely the favorite. He's fought the top in the division. You gotta look. He's fought guys like Kareem Gaji, Nicky Holtzkin, Maruk Grigorian, Myrtle Grunhard. He's fought the top of the welterweight division, and this is why it makes him the tournament favorite. He wants to avenge that loss.
He is soaking it up right now. Looks as fresh as a daisy.
I think we're going to see him use that boxing that he's been improving. And that's going to be a very good strategy. And he does have a good low kick. Can he finish that leg that Shaisen tried to finish? Can Kangalo finish it in this finals?
He is from Switzerland. Has 63 professional wins, 45 by way of knockout. He's now 4-3 in Glory, but as Joe mentioned, all of his losses have come against the best of the best, the cream of the crop in this sport. Here's the tail of the tape, Joe. Kangalo is shorter, his reach obviously not as long as Kareem Bin Mansour. What kind of effect will that have on this contest?
Well, it's Kangalo really trying to use his pressure fighting, and that's his biggest advantage, is trying to use that boxing, keep that constant pressure, keep Bin Mansour against the ropes, attack the body, and use his low kicks.
Here's the fatigue factor. Both men were in the ring for 9 minutes, but it was a much more difficult 9 minutes for Bin Mansour.
Yeah, if you look at those strikes absorbed, there's those 50 leg kicks that Bin Mansour ate in that first round, and I think that's going to give Kangalo an advantage in this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this Contender Tournament final is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner. He now improves his record to 48 wins with 6 losses, 2 bouts scored even, and 22 career knockouts. At 5 feet 11 inches tall, 1.80 meters, he weighed in at 166.5 pounds, 75.5 kilos. Back tonight, fighting out of France, Kareem Le Pelon Bin Mansour. Here now is his opponent fighting out of the white corner, now with a record of 63 wins and 8 losses and 45 big career knockouts. At 5 feet 10 inches tall, 1.78 meters, he weighed in at 169.5 pounds, an even 77 kilos. Fighting out of Switzerland, here again, Yoan Kangalo. And your referee for this contest, Dej Riampai.
Fighter. Okay, gentlemen, I want clean fight. I want fair fight. Obey my command at all times. Defend yourself on the time. Good luck to you. Touch glove, back to the front.
This is the fight that Yoan Kangalo wanted. He gets it. A rematch against Bin Mansour.
There's a lot riding on this fight for him. Future title shot and to avenge his loss.
The winner gets Cedric Doumbé, the current reigning welterweight world champion. Round 1 of 3. Bin Mansour in the black gloves, Yoan Kangalo wearing white.
Let's see what strategy Kangalo's come up with and see if Bin Mansour can use his movement to avoid that pressure fighting.
What did Kangalo learn, if anything, by watching Bin Mansour in the back?
Well, that his leg's damaged. So I would expect him in his corner to really try to finish that leg. Mix in some of those hook low kicks that he did in his first round.
Instead, Kangalo comes out swinging.
There he goes, attacking the leg though. You're gonna see him probably mix up that left hook, right low kick a lot.
Head kick from Bin Mansour, partially blocked by Kangalo.
But see how Ben Mansour moves. He's not a standing target. He'll hit, he'll move, create angles. He doesn't want to be against the ropes and standing for Congolo to let those big body shots and low kicks go.
Congolo felt his loss to Ben Mansour was one of the biggest disappointments of his career. Felt very confident he could win this rematch.
Ben Mansour is very hard to hit because he constantly moves, but
he hit him a couple times there.
Congolo found him there with those straight punches.
Some swelling now around the right eye of Ben Mansour. But Ben Mansour is tough as they come, ladies and gentlemen.
And he won't stop throwing. He'll constantly punch, he'll constantly counter punch and move.
A knee landing from Congolo, who's upping his output now. Trade jabs. Congolo got the better. There's a knee as well. And you can see the damage now on the face of Ben Mansour.
And Congolo's using knees. I'm surprised he's using a lot of knees, but shook his head and saying those punches ain't landing.
Stop! Box.
Who would you say the favorite was coming into this fight, Joe?
Well, it's got to be Johan Congolo. Like I said, with all his experience in his past glory bouts, with his improvements in his boxing, but you can never count out Ben Mansour. Constantly throws, constantly moves, and he will never just give up.
How much will he slow down, though, as this fight progresses? He was in a very active first fight earlier tonight. And Congolo is forcing him to be very active again in this first round.
The problem is he's fighting off his heels and hard to get power when you're fighting backing up all the time.
And Congolo chasing him from pillar to post now. And giving the facial to the crowd like, I got this.
Yeah, I don't think he's too worried about the power of Ben Mansour, but Ben Mansour has those quick kicks, those flashy, close-range left kicks that he's still got to be careful with. Ben Mansour is still very dangerous.
Let's learn a little bit more about these two combatants. We'll start with Johan Congolo, who holds titles in kickboxing, karate, and Muay Thai.
And he's very exciting, and that's why you constantly see him mix back kicks. He brings in his karate background, which makes him fun to watch, and seeing his improved boxing he's been over into Vegas, training at the Floyd Mayweather camp, improving his skills. 4-0 since fighting Grunhard, so very impressive to see him mixing all of his martial arts together.
Karim Ben Mansour, full contact karate. He's also obviously a kickboxer. He's an aggressive fighter, but in this fight so far, it's hard to out-aggressive Johan Congolo.
He's still active, and that's the cool thing. He's fighting backwards, but he's still throwing as he's fighting backwards.
Oh, and a knee connects to Ben Mansour, whose head went on the opposite side of the ropes now. But Congolo has to be feeling very confident now as Ben Mansour continues to take a pounding.
Congolo doesn't seem concerned with the boxing at all of Ben Mansour. He's just constantly pressuring him, getting him against the ropes, but surprised he's not throwing that outside right low kick.
Ben Mansour took a knee. The referee saying that he was forced down with a push. But Ben Mansour needs to find some offense here. It's been all Congolo the first 50 seconds.
I'm starting to wonder if Congolo maybe hurt his shin in the first fight. Maybe that's why he's not really throwing that right low kick.
He's throwing plenty of knees.
You can see the welt on Congolo's left shin probably from all the blocking. But he has improved boxing, so good opportunity for him to showcase it.
When you're in a fight of this magnitude, do you feel those type of injuries, or is that something you feel later when you're sitting at the hotel?
Well, with the adrenaline, you don't really feel it, but you know there's some damage. Even though you don't necessarily feel the full effect of it, you know something's going on when you're done. You're limping for a few weeks, and there's a lot of swell in there for about a month.
That was considered a sweep, but Congolo right back to the front leg of Ben Mansour, an outside low kick. Congolo has fought for a world title. Bin Mansour has not.
Congolo's waiting too long now.
Ooh, and that knee again from Congolo. He's landed 40 total strikes compared to Bin Mansour's 21. He's doubling the output.
He's doing a good job with those knees.
Stop. Walk.
Ben Mansour is doing a good job in the second round, though, of continually countering back and moving. Congolo's getting a little frustrated, trying to call him on because his pressure fighting isn't being so successful in this round.
That's what Congolo told us about their first fight. He felt that Bin Mansour ran too much. He says, let's stand in the middle and have at it.
Well, Ben Mansour is smarter than that. He's been around a long time to know you should not
Oh,
stand.
body shot! You heard the connection! And the Frenchman gasping for air.
Beautiful left hook, Congolo.
Ellen. Okay. Push in. Time.
So the bell rings to end round 2, and that is certainly deflating for Bin Mansour as Yohan Congolo gets a 10-8 round 2.
And he just walked into the center of the ring to look at the corner of Ben Mansour saying, listen, I know what's going on, and now he's actually standing on his stool.
It's not over yet, Yohan, but look at the body shot right to the liver. And I said earlier that Bin Mansour's as tough as they come. A lot of fighters would not have gotten up from that shot.
It was slow to get up, but the way Congolo set that up is he really attacked punches up top and then opened up that body right behind the elbow of Ben Mansour. Perfectly timed, had to spit that mouth guard out. Once you hit that liver, that's the target. Congolo's gonna have to really do a good job at mixing levels with his strikes and seeing if he can get that shot again.
Just think about all the fighters you've seen over the years, be it kickboxing or boxing, that have not gotten up from a liver shot, much less one thrown by Yohan Congolo. But Bin Mansour did it. He continues. This is our third and final round. The winner gets a world title shot against welterweight champion Cedric Doumbé.
And Congolo just ran out of the corner, established the center of the ring. You know he wants to come in there and try to find that left hook to the liver again.
Bin Mansour says it would be a dream come true.
There was definitely an adrenaline spike with Congolo.
To fight for a world title, he's got to find some magic here with 3 minutes to go and a 10-8 round in the books for Congolo.
Beautiful left hook, right low kick. That's what I wanted him to throw a lot earlier, but now with that liver hurt, perfect setup.
It's certainly Congolo's fight to lose at this point. Don't count out Bin Mansour. Both of his eyes are beginning to swell shut.
But still throws. He won't stop.
You can just see the fatigue all over the body. His balance is off. His face is swelling up. But Bin Mansour hanging in there.
And Congolo's doing a good job being active, mixing his punches and kicks.
And a right hand connects for the Frenchman. Look at the welts on the back even for Bin Mansour. He's going to need a spa day tomorrow.
He's going to need a few ice baths at the same time.
Oh, a knee snuck through there, and I think it connected on the chin. The referee says it was a slip.
It's tough to see from that angle, but I heard a nice connection. Back to the liver for Congolo.
So 51 seconds left here in this third and final round. The winner advancing to a world title shot. And right now it appears it will be the Swissman. Spinning back kick. Another jumping knee. Oh, he wants a spinning heel kick now. Congolo having fun.
he's relaxed. He's not too concerned with Ben Mansour's power, so he's able to walk through them and throw a little bit more of those spectacular kicks and knees to the head.
Oh, the right hand connects, and that may just do it. The mouthpiece comes out of Ben Mansour.
Yeah, beautiful setup. You knew Ben Mansour was going to cover his elbows. That's when he went to the head.
And it's a knockout win. Dramatic fashion stuff for Yohan Kongolo, who is now the #1 contender for the welterweight championship of the world.
That was one of the nicest setups I've seen Kongolo use to knock down his opponent. And he did a good job at changing levels with his punches. And when you know you have the liver hurt, it's important you take punches elsewhere. The fighter's too focused on the liver, and there you go, Kongolo throwing a nice right hook, finishing this fight and getting his rematch against Cedric Doumbé.
All the credit in the world, though, to Karim Ben Mansour, who gave us 6 great rounds of fighting tonight. He hung in there as best he could, but in the end, the Switzerland native, just too much tonight, will make it official when Glory 37 returns.
Seven seconds of that third and final round. This one ends by knockout for your winner. And now, Glory welterweight contender tournament champion, Yohan Kongolo. Here to present the Ramon Deckers Trophy, our Chief Executive Officer, John Franklin, joined by Eric Haycraft of our Talent Ops and Mr. Paul Carger.
Good trophy. Beautiful.
Forget this.
Yeah. Got it?
Good performance and contender tournament win for Yohan Kongolo, who gets another fight against current champion Cedric Doumbé. He has a win against Doumbé. I'm sure he has a lot of confidence going into that fight.
The only fight remaining is the main event, the middleweight championship of the world.
Final question? Oh, all right. Fight! Adesanya very unorthodox. You can't give him space or time to set things up. He's constantly moving. He's very difficult to hit.
The middleweight contender champion Israel Adesanya.
This 3-time WKBF national champion devastated the division in New Zealand and strung together a 32-fight winning streak. Please welcome Israel Adesanya.
In American team sports, Joe, they always say defense wins championships. And Israel Adesanya said tonight he'll win the middleweight title with defense, that he won't be able to hit me.
Yeah, he has that style which is very unorthodox and in my opinion one of the most exciting styles and one of the most exciting fighters in kickboxing because he's so good at so many different things and he feels that Jason Wilness is very one-dimensional and he has the style that's going to move and be unorthodox, throw punches from different angles and keep that moving, and he doesn't think Jason Wilness can hit him.
Says I'm a matador in there, and when the bull charges, I'll just move the cape. And Jason Wilness certainly is a bull in there.
He is, and Jason Wilness is that pressure fighter, so Adesanya plans on using his ankles, his movement, and not being that standing target and letting Wilness attack his body and uses low kicks.
Adesanya, originally from the country of Nigeria, he was very excited to learn that this fight is being broadcast in his home country, and should he win tonight, promises to have a huge parade in downtown Lagos, Nigeria. Can you imagine what that scene would look like?
He took the belt from Simon Marcus at Glory 33, New Jersey last fall and comes in on a 3-fight winning streak. Here is Jason Wilness.
He is through and through Dutch style. Joe, how would you explain or describe exactly what that is?
He's a phenomenal pressure fighter, one of the best pressure fighters in kickboxing. He's gonna use a high guard defense, use it to push you against the ropes, unload vicious power punches and low kicks. And Israel feels he has the plan, but it's Wilness and his team that said, hey, he has the plan, but he hasn't been hit by me. He hasn't felt my power, so keep thinking you have the plan to beat me. Wait till I hit you.
Jason Wilness's corner, one of his trainers told us that Wilness hit him so hard when he was holding pads, it knocked his shoulder out of socket. Wilness, known as Psycho, and he can hit harder than pretty much anyone in this organization, pound for pound. Here's the way these two stack up. Wilness out of the Netherlands, Israel Adesanya from New Zealand. Height and reach will be a big factor, at least if Adesanya has anything to say about it.
Yeah, Adesanya wants to keep Wilness at a distance. He doesn't want to let Wilness get on the inside and let those power punches and vicious body shots go, because let me tell you, once Wilness gets on the inside, he's very tough to beat.
Here's our fight metric report. Knockdown ratio. Adesanya has never been knocked down, but he's only had 2 Glory fights. The championship rules are in effect. 5 rounds, 3 minutes each. Punches, kicks, knees, the legal strikes. 3 knockdowns in a round or 4 in the fight, and it will be stopped. Only the doctor or the referee can stop a championship fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your main event of the evening. 5 rounds for the Glory Middleweight Championship of the World. Pitting Dutch-style kickboxing up against a self-proclaimed style bender from the South Pacific. This bout sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. And at the opening bell, your referee is John McCarthy. From the Novo to New Zealand, Glory kickboxing fans are watching around the world. It's time for Glory! Let's meet the challengers. Standing on my right and fighting out of the black corner. He is a Glory Contender Tournament champion who has won 18 of his last 19 starts. His professional record, 65 wins with just 3 losses. 27 of those wins by knockout. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, 1.90 meters, and he weighed in at 185 1/2 pounds, 84.2 kilos. Fighting tonight out of New Zealand by way of Nigeria, here is the last style bender, Israel Adesanya. His opponent, fighting out of the wide corner, makes his 11th Glory start and makes the first defense of the belt. His record, 29 wins with 6 losses, 1 bout scored even, 8 of those wins by knockout. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, 1.85 meters, and he weighed in at fight time at an even 185 pounds, 83.9 kilos. He fights tonight out of Utrecht, the Netherlands. Ladies and gentlemen, the reigning and defending Glory Middleweight Champion of the World, Jason Psycho Wilness. And once again, your referee in charge, Big John McCarthy.
Good luck.
So pick your style. Do you want to be like water, Israel Adesanya, or do you want to be like a brick, Jason Wilness? Two completely contrasting styles in the same sport for the middleweight championship of the world. Big John McCarthy, our referee. 5 3-minute rounds. Adesanya in the black gloves, the champion Wilness wearing white.
You're going to see Wilness really try to use his counter striking, and there he goes with that inside low kick. But you can expect Wilness to pick the fight up as the rounds go on. So he's going to try to use his pressure and counter fighting, and as the rounds progress, you'll see him start opening up with some big punches.
Yeah, Wilness, normally a slow starter. He started very slow against Simon Marcus, but then in the second round, completely turned the fight on its head, scoring a knockout victory to become the middleweight champion.
Well, Wilness's coach, Danny DeVries from Coliseum Gym, said that was their plan. Set it up, wait for the first 2 rounds, find your pressure, find your range, and then let those big power punching go.
Adesanya trying to read the situation. Spinning heel kick misses.
He's trying. There's a lot of kick versus punch here. It seems like Adesanya really wants to stay long with his punches and avoid those counter low kicks. So he's constantly switching stances, making it very difficult for Wilness to figure out his timing and his distance.
In meeting Israel Adesanya, one of the first things I noticed was the size of his hands. They are massive, huge. It was like grabbing a bunch of bananas. Made me feel like a child, Joe. He's a big boy for this division, that's for sure. And we'll try and use that height and reach advantage for an advantage against Jason Wilness.
Both guys are actually starting really relaxed. It seems like it's the punching versus kicks. Let's see if those counter low kicks from Wilness can slow down that boxing of Adesanya.
If this does go the full 5 rounds, who do you give the edge to?
Well, both are staying really relaxed. Adesanya has a very good relaxed style, but Wilness seems to get better and more aggressive as the fight goes on. Still, both have an advantage in the later rounds.
Look at the intensity on the face of Adesanya. Just trying to solve a puzzle.
He's just focused in, and what he's doing is he's using his jab to blind Wilness, and then he mixes a nice straight to the body. Wilness has a high shield defense, which kind of blocks his head but leaves his body open, so it looks like Adesanya is really trying to focus on body attacks.
So very fast round 1. And a good start for the challenger, Israel Adesanya. Let's take a look at the middleweight rankings as they stand right now. Of course, Wilness the champion. Simon Marcus, who's in attendance tonight, is the #1 contender at this moment, but it's Israel Adesanya who earned this title shot by winning a tournament. And as you look down there, you see a couple of Americans. Mike Lemaire, who just lost to Warren Thompson, is 7th. Speaking of Simon Marcus, I said he's in attendance. There he is on the left, the former middleweight champion from Canada. I know you're very close to him.
Yeah, Simon is part of the little bit of the training community, which we all get together. We're all within a close distance, but let me tell you, I know Simon is very motivated at getting back in there and getting his middleweight title back.
I don't think he cares who he fights next. He just wants to fight for the title next.
Step on back.
Might get that opportunity, but right now all eyes on Jason Wilness, the champion in the white gloves, and Israel Adesanya wearing black.
Wilness picked it up near the end of that round, so let's see if he continues that pace and keep using those low kicks.
Adesanya told us he gets better the longer a fight goes, but that's the same thing you could say about Jason Wilness as well. That body kick connected from Adesanya.
It's those counter low kicks of Wilness that seem to be doing a lot of damage because he's having a hard time getting inside with those long punches of Adesanya, but those counter low kicks are doing a very good job.
Adesanya feels he's the man that can take Glory and this middleweight division to the next level. He knows how to talk on the microphone. He's flashy, he's fly, he's young, and he is spectacular when he wants to be.
And he brings a lot of confidence in,
Get it up, Biz.
which is what you need in this sport.
Adesanya not too impressed with Jason Wilness. Said, I've fought 20 guys like him. He's nothing special. He's never fought someone quite like me.
Good body shot by Adesanya.
Look how quick Adesanya switches stances. Southpaw, orthodox, southpaw, orthodox.
He has to because of those low kicks from Wilness. That's why he's constantly switching stances, to make it difficult for Wilness to establish a constant low kick.
And then scissor kick from Adesanya, who's getting more and more comfortable.
But what Adesanya is doing that's making him very successful is he's staying active. He's trying to pin the defense of Wilness to shut down those hands.
A little shuffle step now. And Israel eats a right hand. That'll stop the shuffle.
He can't get too confident, and that's what we saw where Wilness was shining. When Simon got too confident with his head movement, Wilness was able to get on the inside and throw some hooks and won him his world title.
Jason Wilness dedicating tonight's performance to his father, who recently died. But one of the moments that Wilness will always have with him is that his dad was able to see him win a middleweight championship before he passed. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the Wilness family, including Jason's brother Jafar, who's watching right now back in the Netherlands.
Yeah, those two have traveled and fought together, and they have Jafar at home taking care of the family in the gym.
But Wilness said he can't get too emotional. He can't think about that while he's fighting. Needs to stay even keel.
Good knee by Adesanya, but good counter.
And there's some spectacular offense from Israel Adesanya.
But that's what Wilness has to do. He's waiting to the end of the round to put the pressure on. But Adesanya is just doing a great job on the outside, staying long.
The fight metric statistics are extremely close right now. Wilness has landed 46 strikes, Adesanya 48. Joe, how do you have it through two?
Well, it's very close, and I just think it's Adesanya who's doing a good job at slowing the output of Wilness, but those counter low kicks seem to be doing a lot of damage for Wilness, which could be scoring the fight his way, and that was the beautiful left hook to the liver by Adesanya. But you see Wilness constantly countering back, so the fight is a lot closer than most people think, because it's Wilness's counter fighting that's doing a great job at keeping him in this fight. But the style bender constantly coming in at new angles, flashy kicks, and let's see what he has in this third round. Can he keep that pace? Can he keep Wilness from throwing? We'll see.
Shades of Saenchai perhaps there from Adesanya.
That's Saenchai's famous kick.
So round 3 of a scheduled 5. This is for the middleweight championship of the world. Israel Adesanya, just his 3rd Glory fight. He won his first 2, winning a contender tournament to get this opportunity, and he's trying to make the most of it.
Well, this is where Wilness's camp said they're going to start picking up the pace, and I feel that Wilness does need to be a little bit more active. He can't wait too long. He's got to pressure a little bit more and be a little bit more active. Good counter left hook. That's what he needs to do. Counter back in combinations.
Do you like the way that Adesanya keeps his hands low? Obviously, that's not what you're teaching your students to do back in Toronto.
Well, he's very good at controlling distance, and that's why he's very effective. He knows his range, he knows his distance, and that's why he can keep his hands down a little bit. But what Adesanya does really well is, with his hands down, he punches and jabs at different angles, which makes it hard for Wilness to see where it's coming from.
Wellness with 37 strikes to the leg. He hasn't kicked anywhere else, has been going for that base.
But we saw good counter combinations where he's throwing 2-3 punch counters, and that's how he caught Simon Marcus, and I think this is what he has to do in these later rounds.
Neither man can feel too confident that they won one or both of the first 2 rounds. No one has been overwhelming for sure. But more flashy, more spectacular looking, Israel Adesanya.
It's the difference in styles.
He's just pawing away now at Wellness before throwing a power punch. The knee to the body, and Wellness was waiting for it and threw a right hand.
Yeah, he connected with that.
Boy, Adesanya's got lightning quick hands, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has wicked punches that he throws below the sideline, so he's trying to slip that uppercut or that long low jab from the outside to...
Whoa!
But it's that right hand, the counter right hand of Wellness that's doing a lot of damage now. Caught him twice with it. 3 times now.
More punches are beginning to land for Wellness.
He found that right hand. So,
Wellness's punches are a lot more short and compact.
Yeah, he's getting on the inside, and you're going to expect in this last little bit where I can see Wellness throwing a little bit more behind. He seems to be winning the end of each round.
Wellness said he's in the condition of his life, the best condition, and right now he's not even breathing too heavy at the end of 3 rounds as we enter the championship rounds.
And it's still very close to call, and it's very impressive to see. And just like Wellness's camp said, they're going to start picking up the volume in the later rounds. And there's that right hand from Wellness that's been his best shot that he found in that 3rd round, and he found it about 4 or 5 times.
It looked like Adesanya was enjoying the look of his handiwork with that kick to the body. Before you knew it, he was eating a right hand.
And that's what makes Wellness so dangerous. You think you're out of range, but he comes forward and throws those big counter hooks, and when he follows them, that's what makes him so dangerous. And he seems to be, his strategy is to win the end of each round, and that's what he's doing. But those first 2 rounds can go either way. So, championship rounds for this belt.
Of a 2-iron off the tee, so much more than a 3-wood off the tee.
He said, I'm a slow starter, I get better with each round. And the 3rd round was his best round. Round 4 of a scheduled 5, Wellness in the white gloves, Adesanya in the black. Total strikes landed almost identical right now. 73 for Wellness, 71 for Adesanya.
The big difference is Adesanya is a little bit more active, but it seems like Wellness's shots are doing a lot more damage. I like to see Adesanya go back to that left hook to the body.
That right hand got in for Adesanya. But Wellness wants Adesanya to throw more punches. That's more openings. He can land a counter punch.
There's Wellness trying that right hand again over the jab of Adesanya.
You can hit Wellness. It's not that hard. But the question is, can you handle him hitting you?
Yeah, if you're going to hit him, he's going to come back and counter with something. And he's going to try to hit you harder. And there's that right hand that he found success with in the 3rd round. I like those knees from Adesanya. I think that's a perfect strategy, but he's got to cover his head because he knows punches from Congolo are following.
Nice knee from Adesanya. Look at the kick distribution. Wellness has one target and one target only, the legs.
Yeah, he's trying to slow down that outside movement.
Ooh.
They're starting to add up. I'd like to see Wellness throw his right low kick when Adesanya's on an orthodox. his legs wide open for a right low kick.
And now both men beginning to open up their offense a little bit. It's a close round 4.
Your hands are free. Fight through it. Fight through it. Come on.
I'm still giving the advantage in this.
Adesanya.
Yeah, I think Wilnis has the advantage because of damage, and those low kicks are starting to add up and start to show signs when Israel's legs getting swiped out under him.
Nice uppercut. Adesanya trying to shake the damage out of his legs, staying on his toes.
Very hard to hurt Wilnis. I don't think he has. I've seen him really hurt in his recent fights.
So 1 round to go for the middleweight championship of the world. Let's check in now with Whitney.
Here with Glory superstar Simon Marcus. Simon, what do you think of this fight so far?
Either one who wins is done. Remember me tell you, sir. Israel or Wilnis. Done.
Either or, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a very exciting match. Can't wait for that. Thank you, Simon.
You're welcome. Done. He's so polite at the end. You're welcome. He was a tough guy for a minute, and then the Canadian manners shone through for Simon Marcus, who will get the winner of this fight.
Well, I'd be curious to see who he thinks is winning this fight because I have it even.
Well, Whitney asked him. Instead, he said it doesn't matter. Whoever it is, they're done.
They're done. But again, you can give these first 2 rounds to Adesanya, where the last 3 and 4, in my opinion, are easily to Wilnis. So, could easily be up to this 5th and final round.
The 5th and final round for the middleweight championship of the world. The champion Wilnis, the challenger Adesanya. Wilnis fighting for his father, the memory of his father, Adesanya, fighting for the country of his birth, Nigeria.
Wilnis seems to be still pretty fresh and constantly pushing the pace.
And a nice body kick from Adesanya.
He's landed a few good body shots.
Who will win this round? They could very well win the fight. I said earlier, Adesanya promised to be the matador, would move the cape away from the bull, but as the rounds have progressed, that cape isn't doing much work for him.
It's getting harder and harder. It was easier in the first few rounds, but as Wilnis gets more active, it's making it harder for Adesanya to use his movement. But you have to see, it was just Israel just landed about 4 or 5 punches. So it's that activity of Adesanya could be steering the judges, but everything Wilnis hits hurts.
Nice head movement by Adesanya.
Good way to slip out there, got under that left hand of Wilnis. I like that straight left from Adesanya from the southpaw, but need to see him put some power behind those shots. Good counter left hook by Wilnis again.
Things are heating up, a minute to go. Who will win the middleweight championship of the world?
We're gonna see Wilnis put on a lot of pressure here. If I was Adesanya, I would kind of counter back and be as active as possible.
Adesanya felt that defense would win this fight, but right now, he may need to dig down in his offensive well.
Are the judges looking at those low kicks as doing damage? And they are, so even though Adesanya is landing 3-4 punches, one of Wilnis' low kicks seem to be doing more damage.
A knee to the rib cage for Adesanya. 30 seconds to go. Oh, and a left hand connects, and Adesanya lowers his head.
Well, this is where Wilnis should shine. Adesanya needs to keep tight. There's only 10 seconds left.
10 seconds to go now. Will they open up? Another close round. It could go either way, ladies and gentlemen. Who is the middleweight champion? It's low kicks versus spectacular offense. That's what it boils down to. Do you appreciate the fundamentals or the flash?
Yeah, it's that volume striking. It was Adesanya stayed busy. He stayed active throughout the whole fight, but everything Wilness threw had power behind it. Every low kick he threw was doing damage. Every counter left hook he was throwing was doing damage. So it's a very tough fight to score. Power versus volume.
All the pound shots. One low kick every 10
Keep
shots.
in mind, this is just the third fight for Israel Adesanya in glory. What a rise it would be, a meteoric rise, if he were to win the middleweight championship of the world in just his third fight. Simon Marcus said he doesn't care who wins.
And I know Adesanya wants that rematch with Simon. They fought a long time ago where Simon Marcus was able to win an extra round decision in a tournament. But I know Marcus also wants Wilness.
He's fought both men before. Beat Adesanya, lost in spectacular fashion to Jason Wilness just last year. He gets the winner, but who is the winner, Joe? What's your gut tell you?
Well, my gut is the last 3 rounds going to Wilness, so I'm going to have to give it 3 rounds to 2 to Wilness. I just think that constant pressure and those low kicks were doing a little bit more damage than that volume punching of Adesanya. But still, very close, and it's going down to the judges and what they're looking at.
And the judges aren't supposed to consider who the champion is when they go to that scorecard, but most of them subliminally probably do, meaning you got to take the title from the champion. Did Adesanya do enough?
Well, his first few rounds were his most successful rounds. He was very good at switching his stances, making it a little bit more difficult for Wilness to land it, and he was able to throw those flashy things. But as the fight progressed, it seemed to be Wilness and his pressure fighting that did the best job. He was landing some good right hands in the third and then again in the fourth. But it was those low kicks and that constant pressure of Wilness that, in my opinion, could have steered it. But again, I have no idea. It's my unofficial scorecard. Both guys put a spectacular fight in. I'm curious to know the decision.
Here are our final statistics. Look at the strike stats. 211 punches thrown by Israel Adesanya. He landed 70 of them. But kicks, 81 to 50 as far as thrown. Do you like the punches better? Do you like the kicks? That may be what the judges have to decide.
And Adesanya did throw some good knees in the beginning of the fight, but look at that damage Wilness was doing and constantly attacking that leg, where Adesanya tried to capitalize on Wilness's high guard defense by attacking the body, which he was successful with. Let's see who's the winner.
Who is the winner? Tim Hughes tells us who the middleweight champion of the world will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 championship rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals. They score this bout 49-46, 48-47, and 48-47. A unanimous decision for your winner. And still, glory middleweight champion of the world, Jason Wilness. Here to present the belt, our Chief Executive Officer, John Franklin, and from our Talent Ops Department, Mr. Eric Haycraft.
So he's and still Jason Wilness, your middleweight champion. Whitney Miller with him now.
Jason Wilness, you are still the middleweight champion. How do you feel about your performance tonight?
That's how it is. Aggression, moving forward, showing fighter art. That's what the champion does. Unanimous decision. You can say what you want. I got the belt, baby.
Was there anything about Adesanya's game that surprised you at all?
He's a good fighter, but I had the pressure, you know. So I was the fighter, and that's why they chose me.
You looked relaxed. You looked great. Congratulations on still being the middleweight champ.
So next up for Jason Wilness, a rematch with Simon Marcus, who somehow got into the ring there. He's ready to do it right now, Joe.
Yeah, Simon is that guy who's really trying to build the division, and he fights and brings a lot of passion and emotion, and so I'm loving to see that one again.
So Jason Wilness did enough. A unanimous decision. The judges recognized the low kicks, the pressure, and that's what got Jason Wilness a victory here tonight. But hats off to Israel Adesanya. I have a feeling we'll see him back in a big fight again soon.
And we definitely will. And he has that style, which is going to be a constant excitement for people to watch. And every time Israel fights, it's going to be exciting.
For Whitney Miller and Joseph Valtellini, I'm Todd Grisham. We appreciate you joining us here for Glory 37. Next up, a trip to Chicago in February for Glory 38. Until then, good night.
Joe Innocent. Here to present Glory middleweight champion of the world, Jason Wilness. Here to present the belt, our Chief Executive Officer, John Franklin, and from our Talent Ops Department, Mr. Eric Haycraft.